Hello everybody, John here, and welcome to a subscribers cars special from To The Garage, and it's also a Whodunit. So check out the end of this video. I want your input and let's work out this other little mystery. But we're starting off with these spectacular images of Neville's XKR. It's a Mark 1 early XKR, purest of lines. You know, I'm a bit of a fan of that, and this car I think just has got it right in terms of styling. Beautiful wheel. The chrome outer edge very often gets damaged and is very expensive to replace, but if they're in good condition, very few wheels are going to match these for looks. Also, he's got the bonnet mounted number plate, which is a look I really like, but I just can't bring myself to do. I do want to move my number plate. I'm probably going to go for the move down below the grille. I like the on the bonnet, but I don't want to put up my paintwork. All sorts of things spinning through my head. Under the bonnet, just as beautiful as everywhere else. Stunning example of an early XKR. Thank you so much, Neville. This next car is an XJS. This 3.6 is owned by Dean and Carol, who actually live in Lincolnshire like myself. And we met up at the Thirlby Classic Open Day, which is another video on elsewhere. And Dean was kind enough to send in these photographs that really show off the outstanding condition of his XJS. The interior is just as good as the exterior. The mileage probably tells you quite a lot, and in the engine bay, this car is absolutely impeccable. Dean also shared with me a material name, Hardura. Some of you guys might know it, I didn't. Which he recommends for making battery boxes, battery compartments for our XK8s. So I'd really like to thank Dean for sending these in. The last photograph that Dean sent me was a bit of a double take moment, and that's because when I first looked at this image I thought, oh, great picture, love the bandstand. I know that bandstand, that's the park in Skegness called Tower Gardens. And then I realised he'd sent a picture of his car next to my father-in-law and his JBA Falcon. So yeah, you never can tell when you're going to be next to somebody you know. Dean obviously had no idea when he took the photograph that that was the case. Most of you will already know this, but just for those who haven't, one of the photos Dean sent in is of his rear axle unit dropped. Here's the diff. And yes, there is a lot of similarity between the running gear used for the XJS and the XK8, but one of the major differences is for the XK8, Jaguar finally dropped the inboard rear brakes of the XJS. Here you can see the discs right next door to the diff. Brilliant for reducing unsprung weight, handling balance and poise and all the rest of it, but an absolute nightmare in terms of something to work on. So for the XK8 they moved back outboard into a more conventional location. This is the 2003 XKR of Paul Kane, another of our regular subscribers who's often to be found in the comments below the videos. We're sticking with an undercar theme on this one too, because Paul's car has undergone a complete underbody restoration from himself, and the lengths he's gone to really should quieten anybody who thinks I'm obsessive about cleanliness and condition of unseen components. So that's the front subframe dropped on Paul's car, and you can see it's beautiful. All of his aluminium parts have been cleaned and coated with enamel, and all of his steel and iron parts have been shot blasted, coated in high zinc content paint, and then 2-pack epoxied on top, giving them marine levels of protection from corrosion. Completely OTT, as Paul quite rightly points out, but looks fantastic. You'll also note that he has completely polybushed the entire car. These images are great because, wow, but also so few of us are ever going to see the undersides of our XK8 so well demonstrated. Even when I show images from underneath my car, well lit and reasonably well photographed, you don't see how all the components fit together and how everything works as well as you can on Paul's, just because everything is so immaculate. I'm full of respect, admiration, and just a little bit of jealousy. Well done, Paul, and thank you so much for sharing these images with us. His car is not a cosseted museum piece, it's done 100,000 miles. The rear suspension has come in for just as much care and attention, as can be seen from these last few images. Right, the main event. Here is our Whodunit. This has been spurred by Alan C. So, first few images, a little bit blurry, that's fine because you're not meant to be concentrating on these. First image is a standard dashboard in an XK8 or R with the 3-dial dash. It's the original dash, one that I have. The second image is of a standard Jaguar Sat Nav Dashboard. You can see that the only difference is the centerpiece of veneer dash. It still has the original vents, it has the aperture for the display to show through, and 2 vertical rectangles to permit contact with the push buttons which control that dashboard. Now, plenty of people have modified their dashboards over the years to incorporate more modern satellite systems, often because they can't get an update for the discs on the original one. This is the only image I know of the Paramount dashboard, which I believe was a kind of approved satellite navigation dashboard that you could get. Paramount are a well-known company dealing in aftermarket spares for the Jaguar XK8 and XKR. It's a high quality item. You can see that the wood veneer has been moved inboard. It's got some depth to it. It's wrapped. Not an inexpensive item. But that's the only dash centre I've seen that's different and let's call it OE quality. Now these stunning images are of the teal interior, rare in itself, of Alan C's 1997 XK8, and as you can see it has a different satellite navigation dashboard. This is very interesting. Alan was trying to get an update for the screen and drawing a bit of a blank as it's unsupported by Alpine, and that's the system. But I want and need to know, where has this dash come from? You'll see it has 2 of the original instruments. It's lacking the time clock, which makes sense because the screen is able to display the time. However, it doesn't look like a bodge job or something home done. The instruments are more widely spaced than on the standard 3-dial dashboard, so it's not a modded standard dashboard as far as I can tell. Also, you'll note that the wood veneer, the burr, matches across all 3 pieces, tending to indicate that all 3 pieces were changed at the same time, or this was installed as new. 2 options are there for us to consider. Is this a very early, possibly pre-production satellite navigation dashboard, or is this a very elegant home done version where somebody has gone to the trouble of re-veneering the dashboard all the way across? Or is it an aftermarket, rather expensive looking solution to the problem of no sat nav being available at the time? Who done it? Who has put this in? Who knows something about it? The owner has never seen another dashboard like this, and neither have I. We need your input, your comments. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you know what's happened here? Do you know where this came from? Send us your information in the comments below. We are waiting.